Good day, I am Rheyah Julianne Bliss from Accountancy 1A, and I'm going to explain 5 topics, or I'm going to discuss 5 topics. So the first one is the cause and object distinguished. So the difference between cause and object is relative as from whose point of view the cause and object is being looked at. So the cause here is the reason why a party has an obligation. For example, A sells B his house for 1.5 million. So, in the point of view of A, the object is the house and the cost is the price. While in the point of view of B, the price is the object and the cost is the price. The cost is the house. So next is the classification of contracts as to cost. So first is the onerous. So the cost for each contracting party is the prestation or promise for a thing or a service by the other. So there is an exchange of correlative values. So for example, when there is an agreement for renting in a office space that is no longer needed. So for instance, there is a company that signed a year contract to rent for an office space, and then a few months later they decided to move out while the agreement is still ongoing. So they left the office space vacant and no use. So the next is remuneratory. So the cost here is the past service or the benefit which is already received or which is already remunerated. So for example is when A gives B some fruits since B helped him save his farm during the past typhoon. So the past service here is when B helped A to save his farm. So next is gratuitous. So the cost here is the mere liberality of the benefactor. So there is no correlative prestation received by one party. For example, A donates some goods to an orphanage. So there is only one who benefited the in the contract, which is the orphanage, since they are the one who received the goods and they are not obliged to give back something to A. So next is the effects of annulment. So first is executory contract. So if the contract has not yet been fulfilled, so the parties are excused from their obligations. So for example, is when you are entering in a lease agreement. So you are promising to pay for a rent for a period of time. And until the term expires, the contract promises have not yet been fulfilled. Since a lease is written in a period of 1 year, so it is an executory contract since it is fulfilled over time. So the second is the executed contract. So if the contract has been fully performed, there must be mutual restitution. So for example is when A visited in an appliance store and they showed A the sale prices of the TV that he liked and promised him to give A a flat screen TV for only 12,000 pesos. And then on the other hand, A promised to pay for it immediately. So it is an executed contract because the promises are made and completed immediately. So next is the status of contracts. So first is the executory contract. So it's the contract that has not yet been performed by the parties. So for example is the contracts of the sale of goods in which the goods have not yet been delivered by the seller and the buyer has not yet paid for it. So the second is the executed contract. So it is when the contract's term have been partially or completely carried out by both parties. So when the contract is fully signed, so each party agrees to uphold the legal obligations that they agreed within the written agreement, and it can also refer to an agreement that is not only agreed upon but has also been fulfilled. So Next is the special classifications of void contracts. So first is the inexistent contract. So this contract is void because the formalities are not complied with. So it could be possibly because of the lack of some or one or maybe all of the elements, or simply they do not comply with the formalities that is needed or essential for a contract to exist. Second is the illegal or illicit contract. So it is a contract that violates the law because in its fulfillment it requires the parties to engage in an illegal activity. So if the contract is breached, neither party will be entitled in any compensation or be held liable.